Hey everybody, what's up? Here to give you my monthly opinions on the Sonic the Hedgehog comic book and franchise. And as I've mentioned before, this is going to be the start this month. I was thinking about holding it off till next month, but this is the start of the time period, if you will, ladies and gentlemen, that I will not, and I repeat, not be doing any video audio reviews of any current issues. The reason you may ask, though, is why? Why would I stop? Why would I hold back? Why would I keep it held back? Why would I not want to do any for a while? Well, one, I don't really know how to put a spin on what we're going to be reading. First of all, I read the summary, if you will, the spoilers of 230, courtesy of Chaos Control 14. And apparently, Sally does realize that she's been given a second chance at life, but the main thing is what she does, and Nicole basically tries to warn her about this. Sally has Nicole redirect the world roboticizer, as it's called, on the egg, on the death egg, and mostly on her, even though there's a warning that she will not be immune. Now the way this happens is as soon as Sally presses the button, she flashes back to the kiss from issue 50, then says goodbye to Nicole with a tear in her eye, and Nicole says goodbye to her. And then at the end, just when it looks like victory is in the hands of Sonic and Sally, Sally's metallic hand raises up, and the first thing she says is Hedgehog Priority 1. Now, there's a lot of people that are not happy with this result. Those that will read the issue, read the summary, read the spoilers, they will not be happy. And as I have said many times before, folks, I seriously doubt that this is going to last very, very long. Now, I don't know exactly how long she'll be under Eggman's control. They have a little silly off panel that has Eggman. It's an off panel deal at the end where Eggman is marrying off Metal Sonic and Mecha Sally. But Sonic has to go and reset everything to make sure that doesn't happen according to the off panel. Now, that's an off panel deal. That's just a joke. It's a joke, folks, as far as I know. But again, not many fans, even before this has happened, as we all know, have not been happy with this result. Many fans have not been happy with Ian Flynn's decision. As a matter of fact, I did a little bit of a text, if you will. I did a little bit of a text, if you will, on the message boards, some of the message boards, and I posted this text at several Sonic sites, as well as at thatguywiththeglasses.com. Now, the thing is, some people have responded. Some people have basically gotten on me about what I've talked about, and I've talked about it here on YouTube as well through a video. And what I've talked about is that I find it kind of ironic that all this is happening, and we're basically 19 issues away from the 250th issue. Now, another thing that gets a lot of people is the fact that the editor-in-chief, Paul Kaminsky, says that Sally's story will not be over yet, that it's just beginning. How can it be just beginning when you have your writer write in the script, write the scene or the panel in which he says goodbye? How is that possible, my friends? I ask you that. How is that possible? It's not. But the thing is, if they say her story's not yet over, then that tells us something right then and there. That tells us that the way they're going to bring her back around is first, probably restore her free will. Now, as crazy as that may sound, and I apologize for the bird in the background, as crazy as that may sound, that looks like the direction they may go. Now, the news that came out of the New York Comic Con over this past month is they say that, is the word going around, is that Sally will be like this going forward. We all know, and I've mentioned this in videos, I've mentioned this in texts, going forward doesn't mean forever. Going forward basically means for the upcoming story arc. That's all it means, folks. That's all it really means. Going forward for the upcoming story arc, or the next mega arc, if you will. Now, the thing about this, folks, is not only do a lot of people hate the idea that this has happened, that Ian Flynn has gone in this direction. I think Red Menace himself, over on one of the forums, said that overall this was nothing more than weak drama. As a matter of fact, I think I've got that pulled up right here. I think I can find his right here. Basically, he kind of quotes the panel, which is described of Sonic looks on in horror when Eggman looks pleased as Punch. And he basically says, this is what Red Menace says, he says, why are you so worried? Just get the emeralds and use chaos control again to reset time. And then he puts star mark, facepalm, star mark. Basically what he's saying there, folks, is exactly what probably a lot of people are saying. He's saying basically, if you could use chaos control to reset time before and try to bring things back to normal, then you could do it again. You could do it again and you can prevent this from happening. Now, to the untrained eye, this may not seem like a clue or a hint. But you know what? There might be a clue and a hint. Now, even though this is a fan that says it, there's no doubt that they probably have a point, that this is probably where Ian would be going. Now, basically, they finally have Sonic say, according to the panel, according to the description here of the issue, Sonic basically says, I never should have shown you a shed of mercy, you sick son of a... And he almost swore, if you know what I mean. Now, what Red Menace says here is he says, and excuse my language, he says, fuck you, quotation, Archie, quotation, Sonic. You're detestable, how can I love your game counterpart and loathe you with everything I've got? Breaks the laws of this universe. Basically, from Red Menace, this being one fan's point of view, is that the writers, whether it's Ian Flynn or in the past Ken Penders, or even possibly in the future Tracy Yardlin, they all have had and still have the chance to finally, have Sonic do what he says he should have done, and that's show no mercy. But they never have. You see, the thing is with Sonic is, many people have said it's the Sega mandate. The Sega mandate which says Sonic can't date somebody, Sonic can't do this, Sonic can't do that, Sonic's got to be like this. And many fans have felt that Sega needs to stick their noses where they belong, and that's in the game's continuity, and not in the other continuities centered around the franchise. In other words, a lot of fans have felt that Sega needs to basically needs to stay focused on making good Sonic games instead of sticking their nose in other counterparts of the franchise. Now I know Red Menace isn't the only one that is going to be very critical about this. Now, some of the things that are brought up by Chaos Control, now one of the other things that Red Menace points out is that Chaos Control in the description, in the summary, if you will, of the issue, basically, according to what they say in the summary of the issue, is that Sonic at first is laughing about this whole world roboticized idea. And that he reminds Eggman that the alien beam race, yes, the beam are mentioned, made sure that the de-robotization of everybody was for keeps. Now, according to what Chaos Control 14 summarizes here in the panel that they describe, is Eggman does recall the beam, and that they rewrote the rules of the game, but he has changed them back. And that the momentary distortion, the white light, if you will, the flash of light, was phase 1. So basically, from a fan's perspective, when you have a villain like Eggman describe, oh, by the way, I've changed the rules. Basically said, well, you get what I'm saying, right? Basically, this kind of sounds like basically Ian telling them through Eggman, hey, I've changed my, the whole beam deal, that was all Ken, but this is me. This is my time. Or something like that. Now, Red Menace does bring out something here. Red Menace mentions that it's a recycling of plot. We've already dealt with robotization. We don't need to be dealing with it again. Furthermore, Ian Flynn, again, undoing the past writer's plots because it displeases him. Why isn't Archie Sonic reset already? Its obvious history has no reference to Ian. In other words, Red Menace is right there. Red Menace right there is basically stating what everybody has stated about Ian. And that is the fact that Ian has basically, through what Eggman said right there, has basically said, look, I don't care what Ken Penders did, I don't care what Carl Bowles did, I don't care what anybody else did before them, and before me, I'm not acknowledging it, I'm going in my direction. And this, again, is what pisses fans off. This pisses fans off to no end. And this is why I decided not to do any more audio, video reviews of current issues, that is, for the time being. For the time being. You get what I'm saying there? In other words, I'm choosing for the time being going forward not to do any more audio, video reviews of current issues. Not saying that I won't when the time is right. Not saying that I won't when the time is right. Kind of like with the whole Sally situation. Her mechicized version going forward is only for the time being, for the upcoming big story arc, leading into 250 or if not sooner. And the way she said goodbye, I'll mention that when I come back in part 2.